Hey guys, Lunar Fox Games here with another devlog. In this devlog, I'm wanting to improve the dash mechanic that we have. Instead of just directly changing it, I'm not talking about just tweaking the values. I'm talking about adding another dash move that we can do. So I want to make it so when we have a certain upgrade, then we can dash diagonally. So that would really increase our movement. So let's get started on that. First, I'm going to want to create a sprite for the upgrade. So I'll work on that and then be back. So here we are. I just finished making this sprite. These are for our wind boots, that's what we'll call them for now, which will allow us to do a dash mid-air diagonally. And as you can probably tell, they're inspired a little bit by The Legend of Zelda's hover boots, because they have the thing on the end. But the difference is like, yeah, let's do this boot. The hover boots in Ocarina of Time, they're more like this, or it kind of goes across the whole boot, when these just have it on the back. So I guess they look more like the Pegasus boots, if anything. But now that we have the sprite, let's do the actual important part and get coding. So here we are in Unity, and in order to implement this new dash, we're going to want to do a couple things. So let's just open up the movement script we got. So right now, our movement script, all it's doing is it's passing in a single argument. Once this loads, I can show you this much better. So we have an IEnumerator dash, and we can see it has a float direction and a float force. This direction is only left or right. It doesn't account for anything vertical. So as we can see, it adds a force. It adds our direction. And it's impulse, so it's a quick burst of speed. So in order to add in verticality to it, we're going to want to pass in another float. So let's add, well, let's change this to a vector 2. So we do direction, and then right here, where do we have the dash? We're just going to do this, just initialize the vector 2 to 0. Not sure why my mouse looks like that, but okay. Just initialize that to 0, basically not changing of the code, any of the code effectively. Just making sure that it works before we add in new features, which is very important when you're programming. So we have this. Is it even doing the dash? It's a very light dash. So this is the X, this is the Y. Oh, we're not using force. So actually, let's set force to also be a vector 2. That way we can add verticality to it. So, where's our dash speed? Oh, dash force. Let's set this to a vector 2. We change our force to vector 2. We just multiply them by each other. And dash force actually is perfectly fine the way it is, which is pretty nice. And then for this, I want to make it so you can only do a vertical dash upwards, because doing it downwards, while that would be consistent, that would be pretty garbage. Actually, even though it's going to have no function, really, I'll keep it in because it might be good for combat. Like if you're up against a boss to do an attack, then dashing backwards diagonally might be pretty helpful in order to avoid it. So I'll add it in, just in case that there is a use for it later. So let's do my input.get axis raw vertical this time instead of horizontal. Did we? Let's declare here. We just have that as a private since we don't need to access in the inspector. And let's pass in my. And the reason why we pass in last mx here is because last mx, because of this code right here, it can only be 1 or -1. And obviously, we don't want to do a dash of nothing. So all this does is it passes in our player direction. So now that we got that done for now, I want to say that we can test this. Actually, I thought of another problem. This is a force. We need to do vector2.scale. And the reason why is if we're trying to multiply two vector 2's together, like, let me open up Paint real quick. No, Print 3D, whatever that is. So if we try doing this, so we have two vector 2's. Like, let's say we have 1 and 5. And then we have 2 and 3. There's two ways that we'd be able to interpret this. We can interpret it so 1 and 2, that would make another one. And then 5 and 3 will make 15. But if you remember anything from school, you would know a FOIL, which would be these two and these two also. So that would end up giving us a vector 3 of 2, 10 plus whatever. It would be something else. I don't want to do the math right now. It would give us that, and that's obviously what we don't want. But vector2.scale, it does this, which is what we want. So yep, we got stop that Visual Studio. So we do vector2.scale for anybody who's trying to use this as a bit of a tutorial or something. We don't need this anymore, don't want to save that junk. So we have our force. I forgot what it was. Set that to 10, I want to say. That's a little slow. Let's do 12. I think that's just some Unity junk. And let's set that to 5. And then that should actually give us our diagonal dash. Because we have the horizontal. Let's just do that. Yep, horizontal works perfectly fine. But now let's try the vertical. It's not doing it yet for some reason. We have our player, that's set to 12.5. Oh, what? Now it's working. But it does a very low dash now. But not right there, though. Like, that's perfectly fine. But when we're on the ground, it goes, like, nowhere. But in the air, it go pretty high. So here we are, we have the dash fully implemented. Well, the diagonal dash. So let's just show the normal dash. Still works, we do a horizontal boost. But now, if we hold up in a direction, then we go. And I actually found a bug that I'm also going to keep. I'm just finding loads of bugs in these devlogs. Where if you are not holding left or right during a dash, then you don't go that far. Thing is, I don't know why it's doing that. Like, we just do a little scoot. But honestly, I'm going to keep that. Because that could be very good for platforming. Like, if you just need to... If you're mainly going vertical, like right here, let's say you want to end up around here, then you would jump, and if you do the dash normally, I was holding right, then you go pretty far away from where you want to go. But let's do the version without holding right. Then you basically end up right there, which is pretty nice. Actually, does that impact our height in any way? You end up about to that tile. No, it only impacts our horizontal movement. Okay. So I want to see if we can make it from here to there. Otherwise, we're going to need to tweak the dash. And we can. It's almost... Wait, what? Okay, I'm going to tweak the dash distance to make it more consistent, making it up there. Let's just do 214s. And this should make our dash a lot stronger. Yeah, we have a bit of a quicker dash. So we got that. And yeah, that makes it way easier to make it up. Okay. Most important thing when you're doing game design is make sure that your game mechanics are very consistent for the player. Because that just makes it way easier to playtest for you, and makes it more enjoyable for the player. So I'm going to try something else. Let's add a ledge right here. Helps if you do this, that way it gets tile aligned. Yeah, let's put a ledge way up there. To kind of show that we got, I don't know, like a secret or something in the future. Let's put a second one. Got two of those. Keep it consistent, put in our objects. Basically using this as a folder. It's just an empty game object. And let's go into foreground, that's where we put that. And let's just decorate it a little bit. Now I want to see if our player can get up here, because if our player can get up there, then our little vertical dash is pretty useful. So here we are. Without the dash boots, we can't really get up there. But with it, we make it up pretty comfortably, and we can, I don't know, for now, get out of bounds. Exposing the secrets of the code. We don't have collisions back here. Oh no, such a detrimental mistake. Yeah, we can get up here pretty easily. And I'm really liking how this dash feels. It's actually turning out to be a pretty fun mechanic. Like, just moving around and stuff. Like, part of me's thinking that you can probably make it from this ledge to the other one. Almost. I know that you can make it the reverse, obviously. So that'd be very nice for puzzles. But right now, I want to add in a dash indicator to see when we have the dash and when we don't. Because obviously you won't be able to spam the dash. Like here I am. I'm spamming shift, which is the dash button for now. And you see we have this. And we have a cooldown, but it's for a different amount of time depending on if you're in the air or not. So I want to make it so it's pretty clear to see when you have the dash and when you don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color, and let's just do this right now. Public color dash cooldown. We already have a dash cooldown. Dash color. Why is it doing that? Unity is so annoying sometimes. We have dash color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it right here. And then just drag it into there. Now let's make it a bit darker. This is why we have two inspectors open. I have one just constantly of the player. You're kidding me. Can I just... Why is it being so junk right now? Okay, we got it. That took a minute. We do this, and we just reset the player. If we can. Nope. Okay. That was a bit convoluted, but now we got it. So what we want to do is we have our color management right here. So we can't dash underwater right now, so we don't need to worry about the submerged. I tried doing just one line code like that. Sort of like what Python does. But I don't like it. Obviously, C# wasn't built for stuff like that in my opinion. So just do what works. dash color. So now, if we did this right, will be a different color. I have the opacity set to none. No. Don't know why it defaults to that. And actually, we should check if we're not dashing. And our dash cooldown is greater than 0. Because obviously we know that we're dashing when we're dashing. We don't need to worry about the cooldown then. But we want to check when we cannot dash. So we do the dash, we lose our color, and it comes back. Let's do the dash. Comes back. Okay. So we did a lot of dashing stuff today. Basically, rewrote the system on how it works. Am I going to need to update the prefab? Yeah. Oh, it's back to this again. Do this. Convert. And then go into our other scene. Okay, then automatically updated. Okay, that's nice. So we got a lot done. We added a different dash angle. We added the dash cooldown color. We created a sprite. We don't have the sprite in-game yet, but I'll work on that for next time. And, yeah. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, obviously. Comment down below what do you think about this devlog so far, or the series so far. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. Subscribing helps me out, knowing that you like the content, and it gets this content and others like it, and you're recommended. So, thank you for watching, and have a good day.